Hi everybody. Today I want to talk about something that I noticed at a supermarket that I went to a couple of days ago that just really puzzled me. This isn't a rant, it's not a complaint, it's not anything like that. I'm just a bit confused as to why it's happening. Now, here in the UK, we've got a fair few age restricted goods, as I assume that you must have in most other countries. I mean, we've got quite a comprehensive list actually. Here's just some of it that I printed out. Yeah, I'd just like to read a few of these out actually. If you're under 12 years old, you can't buy Christmas crackers. If you're under 16, you can't buy national lottery tickets, scratch cards. You can't buy the little snaps that are inside Christmas crackers. Oh, excuse that, that's my phone just going off. Sorry, that was my girlfriend just telling me that she's going to be late tonight and we're not going to be going to choir. Yes, I sing in a choir, everybody. The Jupiter Singers in Letchworth, and we're going to be performing at the Gordon Craig Theatre in about a month and a half. So just something else to tell you. Anyway, back to this, back to the list. Cap guns and the caps and stuff like that. Now, if you don't know, don't know what caps are, because I don't know if you have things like that in the country that you're in, they are these little things here. This camera can't focus. Let's have a no, right. And when you put them in a cap gun, they do things like this. Let's see if I can make them make the noise. No, it's a bit difficult without a cap gun, to be honest. There you go. Did you hear that? And again. Oh, it smells of gunpowder in here now. They're just tiny little child's things that just make a little bang when you put them in a gun. And you've got other ones, other types, which are like that, little round in a ring. And they make this kind of noise. They're a little bit louder actually. And I can make these go off with a screwdriver. Let's hold on just a second. Here we go. As you heard, that one was a little louder. They're great fun, I have to say. Make lots of noise, lots and lots of noise with them. Things like party poppers, I think everybody knows what they are. They're these things here where you can just pull a string and let's see if this one will work. Oh, yeah, and it shoots out a load of silly string. You're not allowed to buy those unless you're over 16. You know, things like that, exotic pets like spiders, snakes and things like that. Aerosol sprays just in case you're a graffiti artist, I suppose. And petrol. But then again, you're not allowed to legally drive or ride anything on the roads in the UK that's got a petrol engine in it unless you're over 16 anyway, so that shouldn't be a problem. And when you're 18, you can buy things like air guns and accessories and paintball guns and things like that, catapults, knives, crossbows if you really want to, alcohol, cigarettes. Although you can smoke at 16, you can't buy cigarettes and tobacco products unless you're over 18. I don't condone smoking, by the way. I have smoked in the past, but I gave up many years ago. It just confuses me that you can't buy the tobacco products and things until you're 18, but you are allowed to smoke at 16. You're not allowed to buy volatile substances, adult magazines until you're 18, so you're not allowed to look at naked bodies, but you're allowed to, you know, in books and magazines and stuff like that, but you are actually allowed to see them in the flesh when you're 16. So that's another confusing one, but there you go. Perhaps these politicians think we're all going to be corrupted. Now, I have to be honest, I do agree with most of these age restrictions, and I think they're very sensible, you know, which is great. The thing that confused me is when I was in my local supermarket. I'm not going to name the supermarket because all the supermarkets in the UK do seem to have the same policy, which is something called Think 25. Now, another product which is not actually banned in the UK, you know, age restricted in the UK, is energy drinks like Red Bull, Monster drinks and stuff like that. Yeah, you're not allowed to buy them. Like supermarkets won't sell them to you unless you're over 16. Right, now again, that's fair enough because they've got high levels of sugar in them, high levels of caffeine in them, and if young people drink them too much, they can really have an adverse effect on a young growing body. Okay, I get that, that's fine, but it's not actually an age restricted body. That's just something that the supermarkets seem to have taken on board voluntarily. But no, you're not seeing things. Yes, I am wearing a different t-shirt, and this is a couple of days later. than the beginning of this video, because I kept getting interrupted with my phone going off and things like that, and then I had to rush out and go and rescue my daughter. So I restarted a couple of days later, and I thought, well, the first part of it's fine, so I should just continue. The thing that confuses me is the Think 25 policy that the supermarkets have. Now, on the age restricted list, there are lots of things, but Red Bull, what's the other ones? There's Monster, and there's a few other like supermarket own brand energy drinks. Now, they're not on the restricted list, but a lot of the supermarkets won't sell them to you unless you fit this Think 25 category, or Think 25 policy, whichever they want to call it. Now, I don't really have a problem with that, because I think Red Bull and Monster and other energy drinks, they're not very healthy for a young body. So I think, to be honest, it's right that they should be restricted to a degree, because all of that extra caffeine, all of that excessive sugar and things like that can cause all sorts of problems for a young person with a body that's still growing. You know, so that's good. But what I did see the other day was two girls that were about 16 or 17 going into my local supermarket trying to buy a can of Red Bull with some other bits and pieces like crisps and chocolate and stuff like that, you know, the usual sort of stuff. And the supermarket refused to serve them. Which is fine, because they were under 25. No, I don't have a problem with that. The guy behind the counter was only doing his job, no problem at all. One of the girls swore at him and stomped off. The other girl said, "Oh, I'm really sorry about my friend. I get it, don't worry about it. We'll go to the other shop where they are allowed to serve us." And that was the end of it. But the real thing that gets me is that my daughter is now 20 years old. If I said to her, "Oh, Gabby, can you just pop up to the shop for me and pick me up some party poppers, some alcohol," I don't actually drink, but you know, some alcohol, some cigarettes, I don't smoke, and gave her the money. She goes up to the shop, she produces a driving licence to say that she's over, you know, she's 20 years old, she's over the legal age to buy these things. The supermarket won't sell them to her because she's under 25, which I don't know that that's necessarily a bad thing, but is it necessarily a good thing? Because you're then preventing somebody from doing something that they are legally allowed to do. So they end up then having to go to a different shop where it would cost more money. Now, don't get me wrong, yes, smoking is bad for you, very bad for you, in fact. You know, so anything to prevent people from smoking is a good thing. But things like alcohol and party poppers and stuff like that, now if you go to the supermarket, they're not very expensive. If you have to go to another shop where they'll check your ID and see that you're over 16, they'll be like 3 times the price. You know, so why have they put these restrictions on people? I mean, 9 years before you can buy something that you're legally allowed to buy. I don't get it. Why is it 25? A while back, couple of years ago, it was Think 21 that they had plastered everywhere, and they was doing this up until, you know, age 21, and suddenly it jumped to age 25. Why? I don't get it. Like I said, I'm not having a rant, I'm not having a pop at anybody. I'm just confused as to where this Think 25 came from, and why the supermarkets think it's acceptable to prevent people that are legally allowed to buy things from buying them. I just don't understand. I mean, A, they're losing a lot of custom from it, and B, I mean, is it legal? I suppose it must be, because I suppose a shopkeeper has the right to refuse to serve anybody he wishes, anybody that he deems fit. Like I said, it doesn't really affect me. I'm just very confused by it, and I just don't understand why they do it. Wouldn't it make much more sense to say, right, okay, this product is age 16 related, you can buy it when you're age 16. My daughter can't even go and buy a lottery ticket because of this Think 25, and she's 20 years old, and the age restriction for buying a national lottery ticket is age 16. If she went to Tesco's, Sainsbury's, Asda, Morrison's, or any of the big supermarkets, Co-op, you know, or even the NISA shops, they all abide by this Think 25 rule. She can't buy a national lottery ticket. She has to go to one of the smaller shops, which might be sometimes out of her way if she wants to buy a national lottery ticket. Very confusing. some of these retail laws that we have in the UK are very confusing. I'll perhaps make another video about some more of them another time. But that's the end of this one. Thanks for watching, if you actually made it all the way to the end. Now, it might pay you to subscribe and hit the little bell notification, because I think one of my next videos, not necessarily the next one, but one of my next videos, I'm going to be playing with a little bit of thermite. And I might see if I can make a little bit of Negative X. Now, if you've never heard of Negative X, it's a very flammable substance that when you mix 3 chemicals together and you get a single drop of water, it bursts into flames. So that was quite exciting, and I think I'll have a little bit of play with that. But thermite in the back garden, that sounds like a lot of fun. Okay, well, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the thumbs up and all the rest of it, because it will help me to show that you actually enjoy what I'm doing. Otherwise I'm just wasting my time. Anyway, I enjoyed this, so catch you later, guys. Bye bye.